Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you guys are with me again, following my journey, being with me through the ups and the downs, sending me prayers no matter what, and your guys' support means the world to me. So basically we last left off where I wasn't feeling well and had a CT scan performed at UCSF. And while that happened, let me tell you something else. There was actually snow here in the San Francisco Bay Area. That's something that's very rare, and so it was something that I got to experience even though I was born and raised here. To actually see it for myself that I can actually remember, it was such a cool experience. And after that, I got to hang out with a lot of my cousins. I have a lot of cousins both on my maternal and my paternal side. Some of them brought over their kids. We got to bond, hang out, eat, and most especially laugh. And then on the other side, I got to also sing again, and although I'm not singing the way I used to, it's a little bit harder for me now. Differences from before and now, because I really don't have the lung capacity as I used to. But as I'm navigating it, I'm trying, and maybe with practice it will come back.
There's something in the way you look at me. It's as if my heart knows you're the missing piece. 'Cause there's something in the way you look at me. It's as if my heart knows you're the missing piece.
So around March to April, I couldn't understand my body. I was supposed to be working out, as you guys saw, but I was just so tired. I was just mainly sleeping a lot of the time. And then I also had tachycardia, where your heart beats so fast. And I was just wondering why it was beating so fast, so I was blaming it on my endocrinologist messing with my thyroid hormone levels. But basically, I just couldn't understand what was going on. I also started to develop like major shortness of breath. And just so you guys know, there are a little bit of gaps in my footage that it could actually take, because I just wasn't feeling so well. I was actually sleeping a lot of the time and just too weak to do anything. I finally got the results of my CT scan, and that's where I said things get worse before they get better. And things really did get worse, because it turned out that my cancer had progressed. The medicine that I was taking, the Vitracvia I was telling you guys about, stopped working on me. And that's why I was feeling tired. It wasn't even about my thyroid or anything else. It was just the progression of the lung cancer. Since we had this knowledge of the cancer progressing, we had an x-ray performed on my chest just to see what was going on. And it turned out to be there was fluid buildup in there. We had to do a procedure called thoracentesis. Do you remember we did the paracentesis to get the fluid out of my abdomen? This time we needed to get it out of my lung. With the thoracentesis procedure, it did not get rid of all of the fluid. I couldn't even do it all at one time, because it could cause more harm than good if we kept extracting more and more fluid in one visit. So this was a series of visits back to back just to get this fluid out. And even though I was doing it frequently, there was little to no improvement. So this is all the liquid that's there right now.
Yes.
And we're gonna have to drain. This is my lung. With this one has nothing right on it right now.
Correct.
Wow, that's crazy. And she opened up this much for me.
We had,
Wow.
there was about maybe this much open, and now we've got this much open, and we took a liter.
So this is the fluid that they took out of my lung. Right there, the lung lining, right? It's in the lining, right?
Correct.
So this was in the lung lining. Look how much liquid that is. Why did it go there? I don't know. That's what it is. So I'm back at UCSF. This is thoracentesis number 4. That's how much liquid is in my lung. So we're taking care of that today. They just checked my vitals. Everything looks good. So another round of doing it. You guys can also see from the footage that I have that I think it was more of my right lung that had a lot of fluid. I'm a little embarrassed. The nurse noticed my utot in the x-ray. Gas.
You can call it that.
Even though all of this was happening and we were figuring out our next plan of attack, I got to spend a lot of time with family friends more like family, watching Warriors games and just keeping my mind off of everything that was happening. Because remember, I was actually feeling good already. I thought we were on the right track, but basically with the progression of the cancer, I wasn't feeling so good. Since there was progression, I also had to do an MRI scan again. That was such a weird experience because I went in for my MRI exam as normal. We went home, my mom cooked me one of her great meals and I got a call all of a sudden from my doctor saying, hey, how do you feel? They were naming a bunch of symptoms and all this stuff and I just couldn't understand. But the symptoms that they were actually mentioning to me all had to do with a stroke. And apparently I had a light stroke as well. And I had no clue whatsoever that I even had a stroke. They told me that I needed to go to the emergency room ASAP. And while I was eating, I just lost my appetite and I just had to get my stuff ready and head over to the emergency room. When I arrived there, I got a room right away, but you know, it's not a good feeling to go to the emergency room. It's not my best place that I like to be at work. I don't think anybody likes to be. But knowing that I had a stroke was just still at the back of my mind, like what's going on? And then, you know, got to hang out in the hospital with my family and just watch TV. And then one of the things I don't look forward to is when they have to leave and the doctors don't give you the clearance to leave. You got to stay in there and it's pretty lonely. I mean, there's a lot of people there, but it still feels lonely. So all throughout the night, leading into the morning, multiple tests were done on me, scans, x-rays, all those things just to see what was going on with me and see what was happening. But after passing all my tests with flying colors, they let me go home. So I'm finally out of the emergency room. After having a slight stroke, I gotta do everything slow right now. So I'm just happy to be out of the hospital, ready to go home and rest up. I don't want to be back here for a while, honestly. Since my targeted therapy was no longer working, I had to meet with my oncologist to see what other options were out there for me. So to help in that, we did a Guardant test, and that would determine what treatment options were available to my specific lung cancer that had my specific mutation. Even though I had so much pain in my abdomen, we decided that until the results came in, I would have to do another round of chemo. Just before I started my first round of chemo, I felt so much pain in my abdomen. It hurt so bad, but the facility that I was at, because it wasn't at my actual hospital, it was at a remote facility or a different center, they did not have the pain drugs that I needed to take care of my pain. I went through the whole first round of chemo and then went straight to UCSF right after to seek medical attention to help take care of that pain in my abdomen. And luckily at Mission Bay, there is an acute care facility that takes care of cancer patients. From there, they were able to give me the meds that I need to take care of that pain. So today's been a crazy day. Initially, I wanted to show you guys like a step-by-step when you're gonna get chemo, but I was so sick earlier, and I'll explain that to you guys in a bit. But I'm getting out of the hospital now because I had to come back here because I had extreme pain in my abdomen earlier. So after I did my round of chemo, I had to come here. So that's why I got to meet early and the other staff, and they've been really taking care of me. And I feel so much better now. A lot more to happen. This week's pretty busy. I biopsy of my liver, and then I have a meeting with my pulmonologist. And basically, it's gonna be a busy fight. I'm back on chemo, which I'll explain to you guys as well soon. But for now, I get to leave the hospital, get to sleep in my own bed, and hopefully no more pain until, at least, hopefully no pain at all anymore. So I'm out of here, gotta watch the Warriors game. Hey, what's up guys, this is Early. She's the one that's been taking care of me this round of all the appointments I've been doing. Ako makulit sa kanya, not the other way around. But Thank you for taking care of me.
Of course, my pleasure.
And they give excellent care, so she's gonna see herself on your channel now. Yay! Okay.
I'm going to hang that.
The following day, I had 2 appointments. I started the day with hydration because of the side effects from chemo. After that, I was wheelchaired to interventional radiology because I was gonna have a biopsy of my liver because I was complaining about the pain and the area being quite hard, really hard to the touch. It was kind of weirding me out too.
And then hopefully as soon as we're done, maybe they'll let you have a little something to drink.
Apple juice,
Yeah.
ginger ale, something.
Oh, I got you ginger ale.
Oh,
Do you have, oh, we have ginger ale.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, here
So
we
we're
go.
gonna put a whole bunch, you've done EKG before. Okay, so you are familiar.
Yeah.
I might lay your head back a little bit,
Sure.
is that okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes, we'll get a little better picture.
Okay.
Okay, and we're gonna undo this and pull this down. You just relax.
Okay.
You're good.
See my son? He looks like an old stereo.
99.9.
Okay. So,
A little low grade, yeah. Maybe that's probably
yeah.
why.
So usually the heart rate goes up when
Yeah.
they have fever.
Yeah, exactly.
And it could be the cancer too. That's why it's doing that.
Yeah, it could be a lot of different
Yeah,
things.
so many factors.
Hi again, I'm back. Here's my son, just came back from his biopsy and he hasn't had any drink of water since before we got here at 9 a.m. in the morning. So now I'm gonna hand him something to drink. So finally,
What time is it now?
after so many hours, he's allowed to drink.
Yeah, so what time is it now?
It's already 3 o'clock and he's still so thirsty. There he is, so crazy about ginger ale, drinking. So good. Okay, enjoy it. You can't have water until 4 o'clock again. Since first meal of the day, since last night, 7 p.m. No wonder you're so skinny. You don't eat.
After the successful procedure of the biopsy, I was sent home. The following day, I met with my pulmonary doctor, and we had to think of options of how we would get the fluid out of my lungs. So it was mutually decided that we would have a Pleural-X placed in my chest, and I would have the option of draining the fluid from the pleural space in my lungs, and I can do it from the comfort of my own home or wherever I was at that. What's up, guys? So today I'm having my Pleural-X catheter installed here because I have liquid in my lung lining, so that should really help me with breathing. Super dry mouth because I'm not allowed to eat any food, drink any water. So I'm just waiting for my turn, and hopefully this will provide some great relief. And the nice thing about the Pleural-X, I'll be able to drain it at home. I wouldn't have to come here every single time just to release the liquid. So my brother will be able to help me and whoever. So that's what we're doing today. Surgery was a success.
Really?
So I'm really happy. I get to go home
What is your
and just be happy that everything went as planned. So now I can do all the draining at home so that I can breathe well. Just looking for things to keep looking up and up and up. Thanks, guys. happened?
That's a pretty big poke up here,
Mhm.
up by your nipple,
Yeah?
where they did the.
Does it look bad?
No, I mean it was just a good sized poke.
Okay.
A little oozing, a little bleeding, nothing too bad.
There's oozing?
I mean, just a little.
Does it look infected?
No, not at all. All right, confirm close. All right, here we go. I'm gonna start slowly. So,
There's liquid coming out?
yeah.
Oh wow.
Sam, you wanna see?
Oh wow. It's just like never ending, huh? Wow.
So,
That is so cool.
we'll let it drain.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, if you start feeling like it's starting
Yeah.
to pull or whatever, like you're,
Okay.
is that still comfortable?
Yes. Wow, it's so thick. Did it stop?
No, it's
Oh,
going. That's all there is to it.
nice.
We're gonna fill up 500 mLs quickly. Almost looks like a good beer.
I know, huh? Dark beer.
Can you message them, Sad?
Mm-hmm.
And say like we took.
Should we slow down a little bit more?
Sure.
Mm.
Starting to.
Feels a little weird.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
I think actually.
Okay, keep.
You want some more out, or
We're gonna get more out?
do you want more out?
Yeah.
It's starting to pull some air out,
Oh,
so I think we're good here.
you mean we got enough out?
Yeah, you see how there's not bubbles in the tube?
Oh, it's already up.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, feels good. I mean, it feels like I could breathe a little bit. Wow, it's already 500.
That's probably about 400 ml.
Should we go to 5?
No,
Okay.
right? Because we started sucking air out, so
So air means we got everything.
we're getting. I mean, there's still some fluid, but we got most of it.
Okay, that was nice. To do it here, huh, Andrew?
Uh huh.
Oh,
Yeah, he started going there.
instead of going there.
All right. So you're now capped back up.
Okay.
My apologies, son.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna sting.
Sting?
This is probably gonna sting a little. I have to clean around
Oh, okay.
the site.
That's okay.
All right. Sam, can you just hold that in place for a second?
Which one?
Just right there.
Okay.
Just like that. Perfect.
I'm so glad I made the decision to do this.
All right. Okay. All done.
Wow. Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Can I see the liquid?
Sure.
Oh my gosh. Is that blood?
No,
Is it sticky?
I don't know. I didn't touch the actual fluid.
I mean, like when you mix it.
No, a little thick, but not too bad. About 425 ml.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, thank you.
A couple days later, I had more hydration performed because of the side effects from the chemo. While at home, I got some care treats from my ate Tina, who you should remember from my Denver and Jamaica vlog. She gave me some care treats to help make me feel better, even though I had no appetite to eat. Despite being tired or fatigued from chemo, spending time with family and friends is important to me. And to aid me in healing, making sure I feel good and my mind was in a good place. Watching Warriors games helped me a lot. May 23 was the infamous day that I posted on IG where I had 6 appointments in one day.
And you know, the other thing with the liver
Yeah.
is that the liver kind of sits in a little capsule.
Yeah.
And when, you know, there are tumors there, it starts to stretch that capsule, and that capsule has a lot of nerve endings.
Yeah.
And I know you guys talked about this, your cancer was growing pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Chemotherapy and immunotherapy is kind of a standard treatment that we do all the time for lung cancer. The chemo tends to be one of our fastest, tends to work on faster growing cancers.
Yeah. For my own purposes.
Your TikTok or
Yeah, like I've been keeping people in touch with my
what you doing?
vlog, yeah. Last stop, chemotherapy. So now that we knew that my cancer had progressed and I already was on chemo, I still was having shortness of breath and my tachycardia wasn't getting any better. And that was after several weeks of going back and forth with my endocrinologist to change my dosage of my medicine. I still was having a high heartbeat, so I ended up being referred to a cardiovascular care and prevention doctor who would help me understand what was going on with my heart. And it was determined that I needed to work out. Because I was so weak, I would look at stairs and it looked like Mount Everest to me. I just didn't even want to climb up them. And even at this point, again, I don't have a lot of footage of it because I was so weak. I was being wheelchaired in and out of the hospital. I couldn't even walk to my appointments like I was doing in the previous months. I needed to work out. It's because my heart was beating so fast because I wasn't using or exercising enough. So from that point, I started walking, even though I was having such a hard time. Walking was the best way for me to get fit. Also because of bloating issues, I had to go back to the hospital to possibly do another paracentesis because I wasn't eating and I always felt full. But after they did an ultrasound, they determined there was nothing in there. There was nothing for them to drain out. And another issue that I was experiencing was my platelet levels were going low. So I needed to go to the infusion center and get a load of platelets infused into my body. I had to be very careful not to get any cuts or anything where I would bleed because of that. Around the end of May, my kuya came to visit me all the way from Chicago. But this was a time that I wasn't feeling really good because of the effects of the chemo. And I didn't really get to entertain him as I would have wanted to, but we did get to spend some time together, some good quality time, and just hang out even though I was sleeping most of the time. Thanks, Kuya Ed, for coming and visiting me. Around June, I didn't feel like myself. Not only did I not feel like myself, I didn't even recognize myself anymore. And I would look at myself in the mirror and didn't even know who I was looking at. I just looked completely different from the person that I remembered. But I still kept up with my chemo schedule. And because chemo can be so hard on the body, I just didn't have the strength to pick up my camera or my phone to take any pictures or any videos. I just was resting and sleeping a lot of the time and I was feeling quite weak. I guess at the dosage that I was at, it made me just so weak that I couldn't do anything. Not even social media. I didn't even know what was going on in the world. Just me and the bed and sleep. So even though I was experiencing all this fatigue and tiredness from the chemo, I had a meeting and we normally have appointments with our oncologist to check in and see how we're doing. So I had a physical appointment with my doctor at UCSF. And do you guys remember that Guardant test that I told you guys about that would determine what treatment options were out there for me? The results came in and my doctors gave me some good news that they found some drugs that would work for me. I remember when they told me about taking the Guardant test initially, they were like, let's just see what's out there. I mean, at this point, doesn't look like there would be anything, but basically from this appointment I found out there were 2 that I would be able to take. Because of my rare genetic mutation that my cancer has, I would be able to take these 2 drugs and it's never been used at the same time, or at least with my doctors. And mind you, there's not a lot of data out there for using these 2 drugs at the same time, but I was willing to try it and take a shot. We decided that it would do something for me. If it could do something for me, I would be the perfect candidate for it. At this meeting as well, I found out there was a trial for another drug out there. And it was going to be the second version of the first drug that I did that actually worked, where I was feeling great and I told you I was working out. But there's a second version of this drug that was out, and it was out on trial. And it was in San Diego, and my dad and at the Mylan, Jarlin, they all happened to be out there, so it would be a perfect place for me to get on the trial and do it. But before me going out to San Diego to see if I can even get on this trial, we had to call and they had to submit me as a possible candidate to be on this trial, I had a special guest, and her name is Klarisse. You guys may know her out there in the Philippines or sa mga kababayan. Si Klarisse De Guzman, who happens to be a singer, is my friend, and she came all the way out here. She was here for a series of concerts and a tour. So luckily she made a stop by to see me, and we got to hang out because I haven't seen her since the time I left for Jamaica to attend my nephew's wedding. And we finally got to see each other. With Klarisse.
Get well soon. Pagaling ka palalo, Sen.
I know.
Okay, I'll come.
What's your message to me? Ay, may ganun.
Love you, Sen. Alam mo yan. You know that? In English?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You just put subtitle.
Yeah. You'll come back
Yes, I'm
and...
so happy that I get to see you
Me
even
too.
just for a short time.
I know it's really super bitin, but I'm glad that you guys...
Yes, I know.
You made it out here.
Love you, Sen.
Love you too, Klang. Thank you. And we'll have more to come.
Yeah.
Take care of your dad, huh?